Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you on a beautiful day. Finally, a beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach after a couple days of off weather and off tracks. We're good to go today. You see it overlooking our three courses, and they are all in play today. Race 4 and 7 is off the turf, but we're going to keep the feature on the turf. Happy to report that on a good turf course, and that feature is titled the Pembroke Lakes, a really, really good race. $150,000 in the gross jackpot Rainbow Six as well. It's getting up there.
Yeah, it really is. And yesterday kind of seemed like a day somebody could sweep it, but a lot of live tickets, and it paid all right. And today starts race 6, so get involved.
Yeah, it's going to be a big pool today. We'll have big pools throughout the day. It's a good card. Some maiden special weight races. Again, that feature came up really, really tough.
Yeah.
Early pick 5. The main track is fast, too, so we finally got that back in play as well. Happy to report that. Early pick 5 in the opener, and we'll get right to it because we have 11 for you today. Several replays to show as well. I've got a $36 ticket. Nothing changed on this sequence. That's the good news. A little reworking later on, but you see early in this race, the heavy favorite right now down inside, Lieutenant Stan. We've got a replay in race number 2. I'm down inside again with Major King in race number 3. 62 is your order. Sea Hunter, we've got a replay there, getting back, sprinting on the Tapeta. 3 deep, that's an off-the-turf race now in race number 4, but I left everything the same. Image of Love on top for me, and then in race number 5, that's a good one on a flat one-turn mile. 67 is the order. Maybe a speed play with first team for Mike Yates. $36 play. Let's get to the opener now. We are on the Tapeta, always were. 5.5 in this 12-5 maiden claimer. Full field of 11 in here. I think the scratches, with the exception of the off-the-turf race, very few meaningful scratches today. None of them in the opener here. And, wow, we're all over the place a little bit here. Double down Dennis, the firster.
Yeah, I'm doing some hunch plays today.
Okay.
Dennis, our cameraman, he does have hair, by the way. First time starter here, first in Dino Hernandez. Not a barn that typically does have a lot of first time starters, just in general. He kind of plays that claiming game, but he does a great job nonetheless. Now, this is a first time gelding coming into this race, which I like a lot. First time Lasix. Rainbow Air, 1 for 29 with first-time starters. Not a big sample at all, but I like the solid string of works here. They're not too aggressive with this horse. They spent $17,000 back in 2020 for this horse as a yearling, and now he's in for the 12-5. So they're not getting too aggressive. Yeah, it's a race where I think kind of anything can happen, and I think a little bit of speed flashed in the mornings is good indication.
Certainly looks it off that last drill.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Stan and Mexa Coffee come out of the same race. We'll take a look at it now. Lieutenant Stan was the 3 in this spot, and the 7 is Mexa Coffee, and here they are entering the far turn.
Yeah, and Mexa Coffee, this is a horse that I've played him a few times, Brian, and I can't really seem to get him pinned down. I think that Lieutenant Stan is a much better horse than him, but Mexa Coffee had quite a trip. I mean, he angled out so wide, and you're not going to make up any ground that late with a race like that.
We saw it again yesterday. Speed plays on this Tapeta when you're sprinting. The blinkers go on. Lieutenant Stan, to me, if he's not loose and controlling, he's in front, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got to be, and it's snappy. It's 5.5 furlongs. You got to be out and going.
Keeps dropping for Team Cassie, but this is it for him. I think it's go time for him today, or it might not ever be go time. Early pick 4 in race number 2. We're on that fast one-turn mile for the main track. 3-year-olds are 4 and up, which have never won 2. The tag, 62.50. Samantha is on the ticket.
I am, and it's a $12 play for me here. Going to get to this race in just a second. 26 for me in the third. I put Marley Luck on top, but I do think that Sea Hunter will be very tough in that spot. Have a replay as well. Race 4 on the Tapeta, maiden special weight event. It's still, this is such a huge spread race for me. I didn't put your 2 Image of Love in there. It's funny how sometimes we always disagree on the Todd Pletcher horses, it seems like. But the 10 is my top pick. That's Kara and Colleen for Savvy Joseph. And in race number 5, that's my single first team. I do like Order of Magnitude as well, but I just think kind of like what you're alluding to, I think this horse might get loose in here, runs good sheets, numbers, and actually has some nice dirt form to play with.
I'm with you there. $12, very affordable. You hit the late 5 yesterday, right?
I did, yeah. Didn't pay too much, but still much harder than it seemed.
Paid more than my early pick 5. So. You are on the 6 here. I used all 3 of your horses in my early pick 5, and we'll go with the 6, Il Malandrino, back facing winners.
Yeah, he is, and it was an impressive victory. I mean, yeah, who did he face?
Right.
Not really anything. Natural Vibes almost got the win. Did he get the win?
Did get the win. Came back. He was not going to win, and then did get the win.
Came back. That's right. Yeah. So that was yesterday. Well, that flatters this guy a lot more now today. I think that he's going to have to step up because Dream of Blessings is a tough horse, but I think he fits here.
No, he certainly does. We've got the replay of Danley and Dream Blessings, and, they are what they are. We've got one for 12 and one for 20. One for 23 to talk about, but they ran okay last time.
They did, and Dream of Blessings, look how wide this horse is. Thank you so much, Bob, and he still really ran on quite nicely to close into this one-turn, 1-mile race. You like to see that he was so game with that here. He just wasn't able to seal the deal, but I like the way that Danley also picked up a lot of ground as well.
1 for 33, I should say, on Danley. So they are what they are, and there's a reason that, I have that one underneath. I went to Major King. Blinkers come off today. We go off the claim for Ronaldo Richards. This is a barn now. It's going to start clicking. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, I don't trust this horse.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he's a nice horse, and he has been claimed a couple of times. They bet him down to the favorite the last 2, and just that last race, that seems so flat to me. That's just he might be kind of losing the eye of the tiger.
It's possible. I mean, he claimed him. That was about 5 weeks ago, so maybe we can freshen a little bit. And it's a race where some of these horses are tough to trust. And the top pick, who I certainly used for you, facing winners. So anything could happen in here. We're on the Tapeta in race number 3. It's a good one. Starter optional claimer here for 3-year-olds. We're going to scratch the 3 Bourbon Therapy. So take note of that. Let's start it with Sea Hunter. We'll bring up the replay because I think the race clearly goes through him now that he's back cutting one turn on the Tapeta.
Yeah, and they tried him stretching out in the English Channel. That was a tough race there with the Bapio and Swan Lake, who just took it wire to wire. No, he didn't. He actually ran quite well. Sea Hunter, this is a horse that he runs in a style that doesn't really suit the 5 furlong sprints, but he is going 5.5 today. I think he's going to need every bit of ground he can. He's like an in-betweener horse to me.
No, I agree. Happy dipped in for 75. He doesn't usually do that. And this horse won on debut for Jack Sisterson, and that doesn't usually happen either. So, you look at his form, it's pretty clear and obvious that his 2 best races were sprinting on the Tapeta. He's going to get back to do it today. Marley Luck is certainly a big player in here. That's where you went, right?
Yep, it is. And I liked that last race. The 3rd-place finisher came back to win again. Liz Dobles, can't say enough good things about her. She's a hard worker, and she puts these horses in good spots here. A horse that loves the trip of this Tapeta surface, and all of the wins are on the Tapeta surface for this guy here. And I just think that this is a horse. I don't want him loose in here, and I'm kind of worried he might have his hand forced a little bit more. But we'll see.
It's odd that there's not really any confirmed speed in here.
It is,
for a 5.5 Tapeta sprint.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even the 7 was speed going 2 turns, and that wasn't even that snappy. Yeah, No Name Dude, I think that's the only one that could probably take the lead here.
Yeah, and he's a player for Jose, who's been on a tear of late, Jose D'Angelo. He's a major player in here. I couldn't get to him on my ticket. It would have been a little much, but he's one you probably got to use if you're spreading big at least.
That's true, and just note, we don't try to read too much into the jockey game, but Edwin Gonzalez rode the 2 and the 4 and won on both of them. I can only imagine he would have his pick here, and he lands on Marley Luck.
No, it's very, very fair, and Edwin's one of the guys. Lionel Ray is certainly at the top of the list, but Edwin, you got to pay attention now where he's landing because he's been very, very live off the turf, unfortunately. In race number 4, it's a good maiden special weight, though. These are for 3-year-old fillies. It's stuck together relatively well. We just lose the 1 and the 5 out of this spot. It's a deep, competitive race. You've got Image of Love nowhere, so let's go with Starship Agenda, who's on the upswing for Steve Dwoskin.
Yeah, Steve Dwoskin. What a barn lately. Yeah, just red hot. Yep. I like the fact that this did come off the grass for this horse because he did run really, really well last time. I think he's got all the tools to get it done here today. he broke a lot better last time. His first effort was on the grass and drew the one hole. You never want to be there. He gets a kind of a shorter field here today, and I think that this is going to set up nicely for him.
No, she's a player for sure, and Steve is I believe Steve is 0 for on debut, so it's a progression thing for him.
Yep.
He's always firing at the Royal Palm meet. He kind of aims for this, and so we'll see what we get today. Image of Love, listen, I don't love her, but I thought she's a pace play for me because I know it's off the turf. She's still loose in here to me.
Yeah, and look who's on her as well. Exactly. Yeah, you've got a great gate speed jockey, and now she draws the one hole, which is not ideal. But if she can get out of there running, I think that can you take them all? I don't think she'll take them all the way. By any means.
Amicia Jaramillo is going to try to, though.
He will.
He's a very good gate jockey. Kara and Colleen in the mix for you. Another one improving for Safi.
Yep, and Safi, just a barn that fires so hot all the time. Edgar Zayas, glad to have him back. And this is a horse that improved quite a bit. Couldn't get past Typee. And Typee's just a horse that I don't trust this horse at all.
No, but I will say this. I don't disagree with you, but on the surface switch, not that she couldn't win on turf, but she moves up more than anybody in here, I think.
She does. I think she'll probably end up post-time favorite.
I would think so. She's got 2 big Tapeta races that are better than anything anybody else.
Exactly.
To be honest with you, her last 3 races are better.
This,
so they're going to have to get up to her. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Kara and Colleen is probably the one. Maybe she goes. She could go favored as well. We're a flat main track mile here in race number 5. These are 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 2. 20 is the tag, and we've got this one right in a rip because first team supposed to be loose in here, right?
You would think so. This horse ran a great sheet number last time, and that Lightning Tones is actually a pretty decent horse for the Orsino barn, I believe. And I think that this is a horse that, he can get loose in here. I don't really see anybody that has a huge sweeping closing move for this 1-turn mile race. And this is a barn that it doesn't start a lot of horses, but everything he starts, it's so live, and they're speedy as well.
Yeah, and I like what Mike's doing here. That was the first start against winners last time, and he ran very, very well. That was for 12.5. What does Mike do off that? Bumps him up to 20. So I think he's a big, big threat in here. Order of magnitude. Listen, he's fine, but isn't he a turf horse? I mean, I don't know.
That's what I wonder, too, and especially with these horses, as they're getting older, sometimes when you get them on the grass, it's hard to get them back onto the dirt. That race at Belmont Aqueduct meet last September, that's a race that on numbers it fits here, but exactly, is he a better turf horse?
Well, right, and he's a horse that might get run off his feet a little bit at this 1-turn mile, and that's going to be a problem too, especially if first team, who seems to be on the upswing, is kind of freewheeling on the lead. So they're going to bet order of magnitude too, and it is the first dirt start for Carlos David. We'll mention that, but just tread a little lightly with that one, I think, at least on top.
And actually, we do have a stat on Carlos David.
Oh, this is the one stat we got.
It's Carlos David turf to dirt. It's not a big sample here. 7 for 57, 12% win percentage. Not a huge ROI. I mean, it's not the most flattering.
No, I think that's well said because this is a barn that's in the low 20s basically with everything
about everything.
Does.
Yeah, exactly.
So food for thought on a horse that they're definitely going to bet. 5 down, 6 to go. When we come back, it's rainbow time. $150,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. It is a beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We hope to see you out here. We're back on the turf for the stakes today, the feature. And we're on a fast main track, and it kicks off, the Rainbow Six kicks off here in race number 6, up to $150,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee, a pool that should be comfortably a lot bigger than that. This was a rework because race 7 was off the turf now, and, I think sensitivity is interesting now, getting to the Tapeta for the first time for Jose D'Angelo in race 7. In race 8, that is the spread, and I got to be honest with you, I added 2 more in my late pick 4. I couldn't really get there in the Rainbow. It's a deep spread. Watch the music down on the inside at a little bit of a price. Here's my best bet of the day. Unfortunately, Stat, the 1, is out of race 9, so I lose a little value on Big Daddy Dave, but that is my best bet of the day. My long shot is in race number 10, Iman. On the cutback, we're going to try to loop them all off the far turn for Joe Orsino. And then 2 deep in the finale, and the order is 32. This is a tricky race, Samantha, where it would not shock me at all if, people that are trying to sweep this thing buy that race, because it is. I could have went about 8 more deep in there. It is problematic, to be sure, but we'll keep this at $48. We'll get to this opening leg here on a fast main track. It's a starter optional claimer here, a field of 6. I'm going to tell you what, people playing this ticket seriously today might just buy this race. It is hard.
Yeah, it is. And none of these horses have been consistent.
No.
Either they'll run like a huge speed buyer figure, and then the next race it's a clunker. So what do you do?
What are you getting today?
Yeah.
Absolute Grit is the ultimate what are you getting today. Couldn't beat Celestial Glaze at 2-5 last time, and now it comes back fresh, I guess, for Rohan.
Yeah.
The pace of this race is odd, too, because there's 3 or 4 horses that they kind of sort of want to go, but they don't really want to make the running.
Yeah, and a lot of these horses have kind of been tried and true 7 furlong type of horses, and now we're cutting to 6, which that makes it more interesting.
It does, because I don't think Celestial Glaze is a 6 furlong horse. I think it's a problem
don't think
for him.
so either. Yeah, I don't see it. And he broke a bit slow last time, and sometimes that's an indication of a horse just kind of going not in the right direction.
He's a horse to beat. This is a pretty big drop for him. You look at the races he's coming out of. He handled himself very nicely behind Wayburn and Dean Delivers, who jogged here last week in the stakes. Give a shout to Angel Morales, the jock on the 3, Absolute Great, who's been in such good form, consistently putting horses in the right spot.
Yep, that's good that he reads the form, because when you look at these types of races, you really have to figure out who's going to go where and know your opponent. Yes, Absolute Grit has just mainly seen the heels of nice horses, but look, Sibelius, Candyman Rocket, we don't get those here.
Big-time horses. I went to the outside with Big and Classy, and I think the outside is the key there, because if nothing else, Lionel can kind of sit there and take a look to his left and see what everybody's doing.
Yeah, that's so true, and he's just riding lights out right now. And this horse is going for 5 wins in a row.
Yeah,
that's
he's been in raging
impressive.
form.
Yeah.
Different barns as well, and the trainer's
in surfaces.
In surfaces, good point. And the trainer here has been so hot of late as well. Late pick 5 in the 7th. This is the 1 race. This is the rework race. We're off the turf here. Yep. We lose the 1, the 3, the 5, the 6. So Safi had 2. He left Towser in. We'll take a look at your ticket. I would think you had to do some bobbing and weaving here.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to hit the all ball here, but I did -1 horse. So can't say it's the all ball. 10 Towser is my top pick in this race. In race number 8, the single for me, that's Timmy M. This horse has been scratched a couple of times, and each time I pick the horse and he's scratched, I think he just fits here quite nicely. In race number 9, this is a nice one as well, but my top pick is Big Daddy Dave. I just don't know if I want to put all my eggs in his basket. In race 10, I reworked this one. This is one that if you wanted to take the all ball, you could in this race. I feel like a lot of these horses are on the same type of path here, but the 5 is who I took a stand with. That's Warrior's Pride. And in the finale, like you mentioned, Brian, it's bombs away probably. The 9, Gustavor, is my top selection. $37.50 for me.
Boy, it's a tricky sequence.
Very.
The Rainbow, the 5, the 4 coming up is a tricky horizontals today. So let's get into it. Again, we're going to go 1.70 now on the Tapeta in this optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3 and up. And, You got 2. You're only going to run 1. I think it's significant. Safi leaves Towser in.
Yeah, and this is a horse that he's drawn well because of the scratches. Now Lionel Reyes is aboard here, getting on the Tapeta for the first time, which is interesting.
Yep.
Hopefully he can handle it. He handled the turf just fine, but it doesn't always translate.
No, but she did handle the turf. And the other thing that's key with Towser, the post was borderline eliminated her
Exactly.
on the turf. It's a lot better here.
Especially with scratches.
Especially with scratches. It's not a problem for her anymore. You've got the 4 sensitivity a little further down.
Yeah.
She was 20 on the morning line. That's out of whack because of the scratches, and that was probably the right line, but I'm just saying that's way out of whack now. She's going to get bet here, I think. There's a couple significant things going on here. It's her first start for Jose D'Angelo, okay? I think it's a big trainer move to me, and the only time she was on Tapeta was at Turfway against a pretty good group. She's a big threat in here.
She is. Pretty good group is kind of saying it lightly, and she came out of the clouds to close in that race at Turfway Park, and the third-place finisher in that race came back to win. This is, like you said, this is a horse that you have to give a second look at, and I think you have to include.
Agree, totally. Downburst is going to have to face winners, but she's kind of the house horse here. She's a Tapeta horse for Rohan.
She is. She won by 7 lengths last time. I mean, that's just impressive in its own. And I don't think it was really a fluke either, because in the race before that, she still ran a nice 4th. She's got a nice little stalking gear to her. This week, the horses have not been repeating those Tapeta wins. I just want to let you know that.
We got to get those stats out there.
We do.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that. You don't win by 7 lengths on the Tapeta ever.
No, you don't. But Little Juanito did.
That's true.
And then he came back and not too good.
He didn't win, but he ran well.
He did run well. But she's taken a while to kind of get in her groove of things. Maybe it's the upward swing.
Yeah, sometimes that light bulb goes on, too, and they come right back. Late pick 4 time. Let's show it, guys, because I did add some. I bobbed and weaved here a little bit. I added a few horses because race 8, we'll show you Timmy M in a second. Good luck here because they are all the same on paper. And then I followed through with everything else. Your best bet, the long shot Iman in race 10. That's the 2-horse. And then 32 in race 11. Let's just start with Timmy M. I feel pretty confident he's the best horse in here, but his margin is about that big. So we'll see the replay.
That's accurate,
yeah,
actually.
Right?
Yeah, it really is. And it was a nice finish here. Look at him. He kind of was not in the best of positions right here. It kind of had to go a little bit wide, and he was the 1 horse, so he had to work for it. I mean, he worked harder than the whole field here, but he was so game. Super Legacy. It's a pretty nice horse here. Going to see him tomorrow, I believe.
He came back to win already.
Yeah, he came back to win already, and I feel like he's in tomorrow. Maybe yeah, he is. But Timmy M I'm not saying he would have won, but he lost some ground.
Well, without a doubt, he might have won. He was right there on the line, and there's no doubt about it. The race goes through him. He's been in, he's kind of been in hit or miss form, but I think maybe the aberration was too back, and we've got that behind him now. I went to the inside, the 1, watched the music, probably has a little bit of an upside. Going to run now on the Tapeta for the first time off the claim here, and a barn that's been going good guns right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Bobby DeBona is really doing a nice job, especially at these first off claim type of horses. And 2 for 4 on the Tapeta as well.
I can't land right on winning factor. He was my best bet 2 back. It was on the turf. If you just ignore it, the 2 Tapeta races, well, he's a player in here.
He is, and he was bet pretty heavily the last 2 starts as well, and he's won the last 2 of 3 races. But one thing I do want to note about this race, Brian, I watched this replay a few times of winning factor and unified conquest. Do not take any of those horses that finished 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. There are a lot of them in this race. One, Unified Conquest didn't gallop out at all. That horse just kind of stopped, and Winning Factor kept going. But everybody else behind them coming out of that race, they did not pick up their feet. I cannot make a case for any of them besides Winning Factor in this spot.
The last line of my trip note says, worth a look on the class rise, and he's back for 10.
Yeah.
That rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
I agree.
I thought that was odd.
Yep.
Jose is so good at these kind of spots, and He plays a good game of poker. I just thought it was a little odd that he's in here for 10 again. The 9th is a good one. We lose stat. We had a stat on stat. Safi, you had to scratch this horse on us.
I know.
Good group of 7 though. Now we're going a flat 1-turn mile in this optional claimer. My best bet of the day, and you've got Big Daddy Dave too.
Big Daddy Dave, yep, a horse for Pete Walder. Pete Walder just hovering around the 1,000 win mark here. This horse ran great last time. Big and classy. We'll see how that horse runs a little bit earlier in the card. Yeah, take note of that. And I like the 1 mile for him here. I just don't see any horses that can really play with him.
I think he's loose, right?
Yeah, he's got to be.
Unfortunately, the price is gone. I don't think we were getting 5-1 anyway on him, but now it's stat out. It certainly knocks him down. Here's the other thing, too. All right, you've got him in 2nd. I've got him in 3rd. Unbridled Honor's going to run. I want nothing to do with this horse.
Yeah, this horse, gosh, he ran in the Preakness when Rombauer won 2 years ago. Ran well in the Lexington behind that Kenny McPeak horse, King Fury. He's got no speed, for one.
No speed.
At all. And where have you been? What have you done for me lately? I don't. And his spacing, they can't get consistent with him at all.
It's got to be a starting off point
Yeah.
for Team Pletcher in here, and you would expect 2 turns in the future. I just can't. He's going to get bet today, too.
He will.
I just can't see him getting up under any set of circumstances, unless the other, for whatever reason, 5 other horses run with Big Daddy Dave. That he's really up against it in terms of flow. In terms of the race itself, a 1-turn mile is just not for a horse like that. You just don't win races like that. The feature is so good today, and I'm glad we were able to keep the Pembroke Lakes on the turf.
Yeah.
It's 5 furlongs, a good turf course. We scratched the 4, Uncle B, not a big deal, maybe a little bit part of the pace. Warrior's Pride, he's going to have to run every inch of 5 furlongs because they're going to be inside of him and outside of him. They're going to fly in this race.
Yeah, they are. And I just love the way he ran in that handicap race back on April 29th. I think that this horse kind of showed a new dimension last out, and now he gets Edgar Zayas aboard. I like that a lot. This is a tough race. I had to take a stand somewhere. Otherwise, I would just be using all of them.
Sure.
I mean, because they all fit in this spot, and it's going to kind of come down to trips as well.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
The horse that Warrior's Pride got essentially fried by last time, Yes, I'm Free, is like the best turf horse we've got here.
Exactly,
He's a freak sprinting for Laura Cesara, so it was a really, really good effort. Listen, I'm throwing something at the wall. I have a lot of respect for the job Joe Orsino does. Iman, you can't find a 1-turn race in his form. Routing on the Tapeta, routing on the turf. I did a show this morning, and we talked about it, and they said, do you worry about Iman being just way too far behind? It's possible. He's going to pass some horses. I don't know how many.
I don't think it's going to be a matter of too far behind.
Okay.
I think he's going to run out of ground.
Well, no, that's fair, too.
Yeah, I just think that he's got that nice closing kick. He'll just have to get winded up a little bit early, I think.
Yeah, and Joe, we trust. He's 7 for 11 in the exacta on our turf course. And the other thing, too, I think it's important here, too. There's some give in this course now.
That's true.
That might hurt the front runners even more because they're not only going to fly, it's going to be contested. That might cause a little problem in deep stretch, too. They might get a little late in there. So, boy, really good. XY Speed's got to answer the class test, but he's coming in raging form as well. We talk about hope in him. He's so fast for Barry Croft.
Oh, yeah. I love this horse.
Yeah.
And if this would have been on the Tapeta, this was my single for me. He just can't seem to put the pieces together on the grass. And when you look at his Thorograph numbers as well, he just kind of will pair 7s. It's just he needs to be a step above for that. He had a very nice win back on the Tapeta to come back. He's a nice horse. I know Barry was praying for rain, and
not that he's a bad horse on turf.
No, he's not. He is a good turf horse as well. Everything that they've asked him, he's done.
For sure.
He's there. I get ready for these first quarter fractions. Also, this race does go off at 5:31. The track is good. I mean, the turf is listed as good.
Yeah, it'll dry up a
It's a
little
warm day. Yeah, so we'll see how much give it is. You can go out there and repeat.
Yeah, I'll jump out there and
give us a lowdown.
Stick my foot in there. The 11th is a problem race. It's on the Tapeta, $35,000 maiden claimer. D'Antonio and Gustavor went at it. Well, Gustavor's last start, D'Antonio 2 back. Let's take a look at the replay. There's a lot going on here with these two in the stretch.
Yeah, there was. There we've got him. Thank you so much, Bob. And I think you have to use both of these horses in this spot here, don't you?
Yes. Okay. Short answer, yes. Long answer, they're also going to run the exact same race.
That's true.
We'll see. There's going to be some bumping going on here, and D'Antonio checks out of this race. He's down on the inside.
Yeah.
I don't think he was doing any better than third anyway. That's just my opinion. You could argue he was trying to come through in here. I don't think he was going to do any better than third. He would have been on there on the line, but they're going to run a 63 buyer again. They're going to run, 13 on the sheets or what have you. Horses like that run the risk of catching a horse. If they feel like running their best race, they're in a problem.
And also with D'Antonio, since that replay, he's ran again.
Yeah, right.
So
it made special weight, but
yeah. So 7 days rest, which Antonio Sano, this is his game.
This is game.
This is brilliant from him because he wins races doing this. For me, pass.
He's 20%, Antonio, back on a week's rest. So this is a guy that knows what he's doing. Rough and rowdy, very dangerous now. Third career start. Now we go off the claim for Jose D'Angelo.
Yeah, and he did kind of get into some traffic last time on the grass. The Tapeta will be a question for him, but I think he's a horse that should handle it just fine.
Tricky race here. Starship Tango back to Steve Dwoskin, 22%, second out maiden, 0, I believe, first out. So he's moving forward,
Yeah,
too.
he is. And that third place finisher came back to win. Now Solomon's Gold the other day. What was that, Thursday? Solomon's Gold ran. This is a race that's not too tough, and there was only 5 horses, and the horse ran 4th. But I think he's worth a look.
Without a doubt. I'd love to go 5 or 6 deep in here.
Yeah.
We couldn't really do it on our tickets, but that's the 11 of them here today. Quick look at the lightning round. A few different things going on. Tomorrow's race, I'll tell you what, that race tomorrow with Beth Stream, first of all, it's a tremendous race.
Oh, yeah.
Second of all, she's cutting back and she's on the inside.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very tough race. There we see her looking for 3 wins in a row. She just did that at a gallop. It was just,
look at the splits, too.
Yeah. They flew.
And she's cantering home.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So, yeah, what a beautiful filly, and excited to see her back tomorrow. But there are other really good horses in the field as
Adios
well.
Jersey is in there.
Yeah, that horse I think can be dangerous on the outside.
On the outside,
yeah.
Yep. And Victor Barbosa's got another one in there. I actually picked the other one because they're going to go very fast in that race.
That's the 2.
Early.
They're right next to each other, aren't they? Yeah.
Yep. Best bet for you?
Timium.
Okay. Big Daddy Dave for me. Long shot?
Starship Agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that price? Okay.
Yeah, 8 to 1.
And I got Iman.
That's a big price.
He's going to be a price.
Yeah.
So, and he should be. But he's going to be a price. We'll see what we get here. Yesterday, Michael Hernandez. Congratulations. Right?
Yeah, yep. That was
cool
it's his first United States win. He does have a few wins in Venezuela. This was a beautiful victory here with a glorious wave. I did not have this horse anywhere. And
I think I had him third, but not enough, not high enough.
Yeah, just what a game little horse here to win, and good for him. He looks good on a horse, and excited to see how he fares out for the summer here.
He was amped, as he should be.
Yeah,
24-year-old. I believe he had 9 wins
in Venezuela.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, so a lot going on here, but at our sister tracks as well. Santa Anita, we'll bring up the graphics about Santa Anita. They got a huge weekend. They race Memorial Day. This is cool. The $1 million today and tomorrow. If there's one winner. And they're going to pay it out Monday regardless. And then just a quick hit at Pimlico as well. They've got the Pick 5 and Super High 5 today that are trending both around $400,000.
Wow, that's huge.
So
yeah, I'm going to get roped into a
I'm
lot
sure
of
you
tracks
will.
today.
Yeah, you've got
pull my arm.
major issues this weekend. So that's it for us, 11 today. Happy to have you aboard. Pete's going to walk you through scratches and changes.